Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to In the Cards with the Viberarian. My name is Joelle, and I am just getting set up here at Holistic Health and Wellness in Marietta, Georgia. I'm so excited that you are joining us online in the chat community. I'll be putting your comments on the screen as we go along. And of course, I also have an amazing group of people who gathered here in the store that I'll be interacting with as we get into today's conversation. So, as I said, my name is Joelle, and it's been a minute since I've been live on my channel. Life has been lifing, as the kids like to say. So, this is a big moment for me where there's a lot of energy gathered, and I'm very excited to see what guidance we're all going to receive here today. This is my time at Holistic Health and Wellness, as you can see from the sign here. Holistic is a beautiful space up in Marietta, Georgia, and my friend Dawn and Stacy are always up here holding space for the community with amazing events from wire wrapping and sacred geometry healing, yoga, meditational practices, sound baths, and then, of course, a variety of service providers who are present on premises to interact with you if you want to have a session. I'm up here on the third weekend of every month, and I see people by appointment or by walk-in as Spirit guides people into this little lighthouse here for a tune-up. And of course, on Sundays, then is the live stream. And I'm going to be pulling cards. We're going to talk decks. We're going to get guidance and channeled messages for everyone who sees this now or later. So I think that's my housekeeping so far. But so I love card divination. And I think that there are so many beautiful ways. First of all, I'm going to be paying attention to the people who are here more than the screen. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, that's better. I love card divination. I think that we are in this beautiful place where there are so many avenues now for us to explore our connection with spirit and to learn ways to understand a dimensionality that's happening around us that a lot of us have not necessarily been open to. And things like tarot cards and oracle cards and divination systems are just evidence of that. Because what we see is a flowering of people who've decided to use their creative gifts of word or creating artistic images to bring forth things that they believe are going to be very spiritually helpful and tools for other people to use. My personal collection in the Viberary is well over probably 150 decks. And I'm always looking for the deck that wants to come be utilized for highest good and service. So everywhere I go, and Dawn often brings back decks when she's traveling, or she'll bring them into her collection and say, I have something for you to look at. I know you love it. So a lot of the cards that I have, I've received through my connection here at Holistic. Now, every time I go and to do readings for people out in public or for myself, I have a moment with spirit and I see which deck I should work with at any given time. So today I did that same thing. And I brought a series of decks for us to use in the conversation. Now, in a moment, I'm going to begin having some interactivity because I want to use all of us collectively to see where we need to start in with our spiritual conversation today. But first off, let me just share with you one of the repeating themes that I think Stacy actually brought to my attention yesterday. I had pulled out a deck by a person named Mario Duguay. And I had asked her, she said, I think I've seen this deck before. Don't you have another deck? And then Dawn said, that's like the other deck that you have. And so there was this little conversation. And I then realized that I knew I had two decks, but I forgot that I actually have three decks by Mario Duguay. So I brought them all out today, and we're going to pull some guidance at the end of our conversation from all three of these decks to see how the tools that he created are able to really bring down what I think will probably be a very interesting connected puzzle piece that he is probably even unaware can happen with his cards as a tool. One of the reasons I love reading cards is there's always some surprising little oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like either the design on your shirt will come out in the card, or the color that you're wearing will be resonant with what the client or person who's getting the reading chose to receive, to dress themselves in that day. So that just is more affirmation that Spirit knew that we were going to be tapping in for a conversation and align symbols and affirmations for us to feel okay about, wow, this actually is meaningful, instead of discarding it as like, wow, that's a coincidence, right? So what I wanted to do is find out, this is a collective reading, so we're all going through things, and we all might have a question about what the heck is going on right now, or what does this mean, or you might have a word to describe where your life journey is right now. So if you could ask a question today, anyone here today, what question should we consider before Spirit in the loving vibrational frequency that we intend? Does anyone have a question or thought?
Well, I know right now for me specifically, everything's like kind of like falling apart.
Okay.
It's like crumbling and transforming. So like losing like a lot of things, car breaking down, like need to get a new car, or like losing friends, jobs. My dad died. Like that's
big life
big
thing.
Changes.
That is big. So I'm hopeful that this came through. So like when things are breaking down in a way that can be intensely painful, and certainly where your life can become unrecognizable afterwards, what guidance would we receive for that? And I'm also, as within, so without. So while our personal lives are going through that, on the macro scale, everything is crumbling, falling apart. Things are ending, sometimes painfully, and we're all just trying to figure out what next. What are we going to do? Is it going to get worse? Is it going to get more painful? Is it going to get better? Like, okay, so I can see why that is a very good starting point for us to begin. So the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to use my Pulp Tarot. I love this deck because, of course, I'm a librarian and it looks like a book. And it's also based on the kind of magazine covers that in 1950s Americana, were these stories of conquest and heroes and spy stories and all those kind of stuff. So the archetypes through the tarot are going to speak through images that I think are going to be very interesting today. Now, tarot is a tool that it can be intimidating for people because it is a system that is telling a story through card archetypes. It uses numerology, it uses elemental energy such as energy, thought, emotion, manifestation, and it's based on 78 cards. So what happens is people can sometimes become fearful because like, I don't know if I'm going to do it right. I don't know the card meanings, right? And I started at that place too, where I was consulting the books and Googling and looking up the reference for the story. But at some point in time, like the whole thing of tarot is it is meant to be common experiences, that it doesn't matter what culture, what your language is, the energy and the frequency of the story is somewhat universal. So by that meaning, one of the cards in tarot is the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups signifies grieving over a circumstance that you were emotionally connected to. All of us in the common human consciousness have experienced loss at an emotional level. That's part of why we come to build loving connections through incarnation. So when those loving connections no longer exist in our awareness on this plane, it's painful. But we didn't come here to avoid that pain because we wouldn't have, the bitter, but damn it, it's hard at the same time. So, when you see this figure crying over their spilled cups, but then you see two cups sitting behind them while they're looking at what's overturned, you kind of can go with the inference that, wait, there might be something that's still valuable and loving behind me, that I'm just so focused right now on my grief and loss where it's appropriate, that I'm not seeing what will later be able to be multiplied from the remaining love that's in my life. You don't have to know anything beyond the picture and what it unlocks in you and the evoking story of how you can apply it. So, as I pull today's cards, we're going to look at how the feminine side of ourselves, which is the intuitive, intentional space where we put forth a magnetic vibration that we then want to be birthed out into the world. And we'll take then from the masculine, which is the effort and the energy put into bringing that thing to form. And then we're going to take the overarching spiritual guidance that would be the balance between the two, the intersection and the space where divinity emerges between the polarity. So that's generally how I'm viewing my life right now, is through that three-way prism for all things, right? So we're going to start here. Hello to Jackie from the chat room. I appreciate you being here. We've got a few people in the live stream, so thank you so much. So the other thing people always say is, oh, how do I know if I'm shuffling right? You could do what you want. Like, what we as humans do is we develop rituals. That's like throwing salt over your shoulder, wearing your lucky pants, and things that we do that help us feel okay. So if shuffling and cutting 10 times, twisting around in a loop and flipping them over and picking the fourth card is what you need to believe that this message is valid, then do that. Right? It's really up to you. So I know people do that and their cards go boop, boop, all over. Other people have very specific threads. And the old school way was that you had to do it a certain way. You needed to treat your deck with white cloth and reverence. And the old school readers still look at the young generation like we're heathens because we're not following those old structural protocols. So the only thing I would say is to make sure that you clear your cards, saging, knocking, or putting on selenite or even intention. And then that you always frame your conversations that I only want to receive guidance that's of unconditionally loving and truthful frequency. So it's just like picking up the phone. You don't answer every call that can come through the phone. You use your call screening and your discernment before you read and receive a message from that instrument too. So we're going to see here. Okay, well, Three of Swords. All right. Three of Swords is, as you can see from this card, painful ending, daggers in the heart. This is the experience of something that wounds us so deeply that the pain of it is as sharp as what we see these instruments in the picture. And a lot of times our pain is exacerbated by our thoughts about the pain experience, about the circumstance, about the coulda, shoulda, wouldas. We replay over and over again in that ping pong, the mental space, things that ultimately damage us. Part of what we have to do is look at the things that hurt us. So we are going to need to be realistic and see that thing that has pierced us so deeply. If we don't, we run the risk of then operating in our shadow self, trying to protect those things that we're trying not to admit are there. So for our feminine self to be able to say, I hurt, and I hurt because this happens. I hurt because my children are being killed in unnecessary wars. I hurt because there's not enough to feed my hungry children, or I hurt because I don't have enough energy at the end of my day where I'm going out and working to actually love my children and spend quality time with them because I've had to make a choice. Like, so there's all these ways and places where we're experiencing the painfulness. And what we see coming along with this experience, then in our masculine place, this is the Two of Cups. In an upright position, this signifies our open hearted partnerships that are emotionally valuable, the colleagues that we work with, the friends that we exchange with. In this card, it looks like romance, but anything that is emotive is never just limited to one area of our life. If you have a good love relationship at home, then you have a good work relationship at work, you have a good parenting, because you're resonating a frequency of open hearted, loving activity with another. All of us want that ideally, but a lot of times we bargain away some of our happy exchange because of our thoughts about the decisions that we need to make. And in this case, it's saying the masculine self has disconnected our emotional availability, sometimes by choice and sometimes through death and loss, right? So that because we're wounded, we're not really in a good place to be emotionally loving of ourselves and others. Now, what we do see, interestingly, that comes on top of this, as you said, this is the Tower. This is the deconstruction, just as you spoke of. This is everything coming crashing down. The halls, the towers, the structures we have invested in, they are crashing down around our reality on every level, layer, and dimension. And it's a slow tumble in some areas, like say from 2016 or 2012 to now. I'm sure all of us would say our lives underwent a radical terror. We're not living in the same structures we probably were a decade or 15 years ago at all. We're in a different paradigm. But also it's rapid, like illness, death, loss, economic, job loss, structures, collapse of society. We've got all these things playing out around us. But for those souls that are here on the ascension journey, we're playing the long game. So part of us came here for this Tower moment to be part of the foundation that is going to be there to be rebuilt in the loving frequencies versus the fear and control and disconnect from emotion and operating out of woundedness. So the message about the Tower is always, you can see in one deck that I have, it's a Mermaid's Tarot. The tidal wave is coming towards the Tower, and then the lightning bolts have jetted the people out and their butts are on fire as they flame to the ground, but the tidal wave is going to put out the fire. So like the lesson of the Tower is you were not secure, and had it not been for this disastrous catastrophe, something worse would have befallen. And another message that I had received many years ago when my life was going through similar is that when we're capsized or damaged by a storm, we have this insurance policy that what was taken away will ultimately be replaced with something that is so much more better and easier if we choose to see that as the outcome. So we're in a choice experience. So we could see it as the worst thing that ever befell us. And we see those people who then walk around with active 3 swords the rest of their life because they never recover from this Tower circumstance. And they just continue to hurt others and hurt ultimately themselves. But if we are going to, like right now, we see everyone, in the media version, we see the operation of the hurt self that's out there saying, you're not acceptable and you're not acceptable. We're not going to do this and you have to go and you have to come, and all these responses to the woundedness that says, I can't connect with you at an emotional level. I can't love you as another version of myself because I'm too hurt by my life experience to be able to accept you into the frequency of harmony with me. We see that playing out every day, and there are more and more people who are going to respond to that opportunity for this Tower. And then there are those of us that are going to be holding the frequency of like, I don't know what's next. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I know it's going to be way better than this structure that we thought we were building. So All right, so we've got our tower, and so this is a deck that I got. I understand now. So the power to transform. So let's talk specifically at what this tower is going to be transforming. And this is interesting because even in this card, I don't know if you all remember that movie, The Towering Inferno. It was like 70s or 80s on TV, and the people were up in this beautiful luxury hotel high rise, and then it starts to catch fire, and the whole movie was people escaping off of their floor and jumping out windows and all that. So I think I probably saw it when I was first, second, third grade, glimpses of it, and it terrified me about heights, being trapped on an upper floor, and even in, I think, Little House on the Prairie, Mary or somebody dies because they're trapped on a floor while everything is burning down around them and being unable to escape. So that kind of primal archetype that speaks to us all of, I don't care if it's burning down, but I'd rather not be on a floor that I can't get out of this thing, right? So honestly, part of my personal experience has been in the United States. What if I need to leave because it's burning down? Am I going to be able to exit as a person of color, as a woman, like those fears about the structure that is coming down around me and whether or not I'm going to be trapped somewhere while it all burns down? That fear thing is, I can, even as I'm talking about it, it starts to rise up. But then I'm also like, it's necessary. We came here for this. And if I end up being one of the ones on the trap floor, then my incarnational lesson is going to be, go out in a blaze of glory, trying to rescue someone else in that moment, right? And that's one of the things we hear about the Twin Towers, are the stories of all the people who did something selfless in that last moment to come out of that tower and bring someone else with them, right? So if we're coming out of these towers as they deconstructed, just by us being okay and doing the fear and doing the pain and still moving forward step by step to reconcile and to resolve, that's what we're here to do. So here is, I keep having a conversation with Spirit, honestly, because I do get a lot of fear around the Holocaust, to be honest. And having to read Anne Frank as a child in school and having been in Amsterdam and thinking about that, and then thinking about like the Underground Railroad experience of having to be secreted out of somewhere that is hostile to you. I think about the fact that if you could get out, is this the time when I should be getting out? Because in 10 years, I won't be able to. That kind of fear is coming up in me. So I'm like, okay, I wasn't alive in the 40s. So maybe I got a past life resonance that's like, hey, remember this? We're not going to you're not going to catch me slipping this time, right? And part of that fear of our human instinct that's passed on genetically is we're scared of snakes for a reason, right? We're scared of certain things for a reason because the collective consciousness is like, this feels very familiar, right? So those fearful things could have me act out of harmony with myself rather than listening to my divine guidance, because I'll be listening to my protected guidance instead. So I want to see what transformation guidance comes through, and we'll have you pick this card for us as well. Okay. All right. The Grand Trine. Wow. Okay. And the reason I say wow, first of all, these cards are beautiful. And the deck has a little thing to it where you get to like look at the card and it becomes third dimensional. So while I pass this around, we had the Grand Trine, which we have three energies, the trifold energy, right? The feminine, the masculine, the divine in the middle. So here we could pass the card. Oh, oops, let me read it first. I forgot this in the head. Observe the drama of your trap. Create a plan to rescue yourself. Receive 3 confirmations from your guides to light up your path. Wow, the emergency exit rolls are always lit on the plane, right? Okay. The Grand Trine encourages us to view our dilemma, analyze and plan a new strategy, and watch for signals as our guides light our path. The magical being at the bottom of the waterfall has witnessed the rescue of the baby ram trapped on the ledge. She then has rescued the baby kitten ensnared in a tree. Finally, her own higher guides have rescued her despairing inner child. She has received 3 confirmations from her guides for transformation. Journey into this primordial canyon where shimmering lights create a magical ambiance. Your inner child is highlighted as waterfall droplets dance around you, spewing off glistening sparkles. Sense any entrapping emotion, creating a buildup of fear and despair. Aloud, with great passion, ask your guides to break free and transform this energy into a focused endeavor. Become the observer and watch for signals and synchronicities from the universe to give you direction. 3 green lights indicate proceed. Yellow means caution, delay, needing clarification. Red says stop and wait. Surrender, listen, and wait patiently for clear directions. Believe you will succeed. Take action and dance in the light of your new dreams. If you have drawn this card, you are being called to transform your dilemma. Take action when 3 green lights guide your path to success. Wow, that is beautiful. Okay. Whew. We're going to continue in this vein. So this is beautiful energy. So what are you thinking or responding in terms of that?
I just thought it was really cool or amazing that you were talking about that, and then I pulled the card and it read the same thing.
So that's part of like our inner knowingness, right? I learned to stop thinking and just flow. And that's like clear cognizance, right? What I'm saying, I'm just allowing whatever dots have been connected within me without knowing that it's going to be then the confirmation. But that's the part of being in like Neo in the Matrix, you figure out where to go and why you're getting something because you see the next step and the next step and the next step. So, okay, sir, you ready to pull? Would you like to pull a card? Sure. Absolutely. And I'll have a seat. I should have had you guys come up because I'm like, I need to get you guys on camera here. Jessica. Okay, here we go. All right, wonderful. So we're going to have you draw your Power to Transform card. Ooh, what'd you get?
Dragonfly Mystique.
Oh,
Dragon, Mr. Golden
Dragonfly Mystique. Okay. Let's see here. Dragonfly Mystique. Oh, I can't wait to see what this looks like in the thing. So it says, slow down and identify the pattern that keeps you from moving forward. Assume responsibility, be patient and gentle with yourself. Use your higher intelligence and decide to break free. Dragonfly Mystique entices us to journey into a realm where we can slow down and shift perceptions of our patterns. The giant luminescent dragonfly is a messenger that one evokes when altering a habit. The elusive spirits behind the evanescent waterfall are sending signals to guide your transformation. Enter into this magical setting where time stands still. Invite the dragonfly to circle around to bring you a message regarding a habit you would like to change. Identify the pattern. Chart the cycle of your coping behavior. Does a negative statement from a person trigger anger, which you internalize as depression? Do you then escape through old addictions until you achieve perceived emotional balance only to repeat the cycle? Identify how these patterns serve you. Using your intelligence, analyze how to break this repeating cycle that has held you back. Break free. The turtle and deer assist you to be patient and gentle with yourself while altering your patterns. If you have drawn this card, you are being called to assume responsibility for the habits you would like to alter, analyze the challenge, and decide to change. Ashe, I received that myself, right? Woo! I mean, think about it though. Like, we have waiting for us the systems that want to foster our addictions. They want to foster our outsource, our attention, our money, our economics, soothe, numb, tune out, do this, buy that, consume that. Don't worry, you'll feel better. Just a little bit more head, a little bit more. Like, we could all take a dose of that. Like, I honestly believe that one of the things that is going to help us is going to be some catastrophic experience that takes our electrical grid down to where we don't have access to our devices for a period of time. Like, COVID gave people an opportunity to somewhat step out of the work hamster wheel, and some people were able to develop a new pattern with that break. I think there's going to be a break, maybe not permanent, but some kind of similar disruption for those who are ready to unplug from that form of self-soothing and self-medicating and self-harm. I think that is what we're coming for as a possible opportunity space. Right? What do you, and we got we'll pass this around with the cards, but what did you sense, if you want to share anything from this?
Well, recently, I've been thinking about, I guess the last 2 years is just finding my own cadence, and not feeling like I have to rush things, or I constantly have to hit the gas pedal, or, so in that, I've started to find the simplicity of things. A lot of things that are made to look really complicated aren't, and the heart of it is really simple. And so so one thing that I've kind of changed the habit on is, typically when I see something, I'm very thought deliberate type of person, not really so analytical, but I have a tendency to see something and see the scale of it. Like, oh, this could be huge. We could do this. We could do that, and the all of me wants to expand to that, like that. You know what I mean? And so, and I could see anything, and think of that. I could see what you're doing with this, and be like, oh, we could do that. We could do that. You could be this. We could, all this stuff. We could build this. But this is fine. This is good. This is great. Right here, right now. Just doing what feels good right here, right now, and letting the other things, the other components, just attract to you organically. And that's kind of what you were talking about, is feeling like everything is trying to distract you and get your attention, and do this, or be this way, or think this way. This will help you do this, blah, 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 blah. But really, when it really comes down to it, it's just self. Self is just simple. We're just energy that's expressing this creative experience, So moving at my own cadence, kind of like that slowing down thing. We're finna. It's funny you talk about that. We're finna slow down a lot, and it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. I'm really excited for it. But in that, there's kind of a piece about me that is everybody else going to be okay? You know what I mean? The people I love, and so I think about that, and thinking about making decisions, But I have a knowing that everything's always going to be okay. Whatever way it goes, things are continuously going to get better.
It's always going to be okay.
It's always,
Oh, what did I say? Look. Okay, I say you got to coordinate. Okay, it's a vibe. All right, okay.
So,
oh yes, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing. Yes. All right, Jenny, come on up here into the hot seat. And you guys can pass the card around with the glasses. All right. So Jenny, I'm so glad to see you. I have to say, so everyone is such a beautiful tribe. So Jenny is the alignment designer. Okay, now I met Jenny at the Peace of Mind Expo last year and instantly connected. And Jenny helps you declutter your space in spirit and in truth. So she could come to your house and work for you to kind of look at your material investment. And then also she does sound bath and sound healing. So I've been going up to sound baths that you facilitate with your partner up at a natural juice store in Lawrenceville. And our most recent work that you did just last weekend was about releasing and then soaring. You use like this bird imagery of like really feeling and being grounded at first, but then gathering your energy to uplift on the vibration in the air and to realize how high you could then go by the time you released all of what was holding you down, right? That's what we did. So that's very much in alignment with the ascension thing, and what we're here talking about is when release happens, when we're ready for it or not. Welcome. All right, so we're going to see what transformational energy you are going to contribute to the fractal today.
Ooh. Angels and
Angels and fairies.
Angels and fairies.
Okay, angels and fairies. Okay.
I have been called a fairy before.
Release self-doubt and criticism. Relax and open your third eye vision. Allow your angels, fairies, and devas to inspire you to childlike creativity. Okay, we've had this thing about the childlike, right? Even you are bringing to us the conversation with a child who lost her father, right? The experience of taking you back, I'm sure, to everything that he grew and all those memories, and what happens when that child experiences something that is of the adult world, the experiential world, and where does that child then not learn to be free because it's trying to protect from the things that happen to you. So being able to step back into that playful space,
frolic,
right?
Yes.
Angels and fairies inspires us to play in this magical garden of creativity. The portal of light is in the shape of a keyhole, a doorway to the ethereal plane. View the two cat sentinels guarding this gate to the heavens. Hidden in the lower right-hand corner is the face of a deva spirit. His message is to ask for assistance from your unseen spirit guides and trust them to lead the way. Visualize the third eye, which is between your eyebrows. Relax self-doubt and criticism, which constrict the vision. Relax and open this lens. Request and allow your angels, fairies, and nature spirits to inspire you to childlike creativity. Step into the light, play, laugh, and enjoy. If you have drawn this card, you're being called to open your third eye vision, receive messages from the unseen dimensions. Let go and lead with your intuitive right brain and allow the path to unfold before you. Experience your creative bliss.
Yes, I receive. I am. And so it is.
So it is. Okay, so we got to get the glasses and pass that around too.
I love this.
Beautiful energy. All right, Stacey. Now I will tell you, we are going to do the keyhole. We are going to look through the keyhole at the end of this transformation to see what guidance is coming through. Okay, so all right, Stacey, come on up. And Jackie, I'm going to draw a card for you since you were here in the chat holding it down. Here we go. And then you'll be next. All right. Okay. Ooh, reflections. Now, before I get into this card, I have to just say my beautiful Larimar that I'm wearing is the creation and wrapped by Stacy and Well Gems. I love that I'm surrounded by people who are in their gifts. And if this should be inspiring to you, right? This isn't about marketing. This is about around us are people who know how to do awesome things. They're out here being ourselves, and that self then provides a way for others to be supported. So these crystals being wrapped by her is like beautiful because spirit aligned for her to have an opportunity to even do that for herself and for others, as you can see from what she's wearing of her own creation, right? But to bring that forward as a way for spirit to support you. So we're merging as those old structures come down. A lot of us are still working in the 3D construct. We go to work, we go to jobs, we have clients, we have paychecks and have to deal with those things. But what is emerging as that tower of society and economics collapses is places for us to still have valued energy exchange to get the new things that our beings are bringing forward. Sound frequency tuning and crystal wrapping and vegan cooking and cartomancy. Like, so there's a beautiful thing that's happening. But here we have this reflections. You can see this beautiful tree and then like a very idyllic kind of scene. And of course, reflections, nice navy palette for her. Breathe deeply and become still. Contemplate and choose daily supportive practices. Watch your outer world mirror your new self. We are changing this from the inside out, one person at a time. Reflection inspires us to increase our energy and concentration through consistent, focused practices. This expanded energy is then mirrored in our outer world. Focus on the crystal clear pond. Breathe in the beauty and accept this energy. Close your eyes and release restrictive habitual thoughts. Create a new paradigm at the cellular level. Plan daily supportive practices to assist manifestation of your life path. Include meditation, exercise, yoga, affirmations, visualizations, or a healthy eating plan. Believe you can transform negative habits and pursue your dream without the addictive behaviors. Watch for synchronicities from the universe giving you direction. These new insights will guide you to the people who will reflect your illuminated path. If you have drawn this card, you're being called to increase your energy field, integrate new positive practices, and allow messages from your guides to direct you to people who reflect positivity. Shay, okay. Okay. We'll pass that one around too. Okay. What are you thinking about as you receive that before you get away?
I would agree. I receive it. It actually speaks to everything that I am going through right now and trying to develop a dedicated practice. Yeah, I received this is like confirmation for me to continue to do what I'm doing, or expand on some other things.
Well, I think so. Another thing, we're going to go to ballet at different times, but Dawn is hosting a series of personal retreats in late September and October. And one of the things is, I know mine is about sacred release. And some of what she brought back from her last trip were daily ways that spirit is brought into life over there with thoughtful offerings on the hearth and the threshold. She learned a lot about that. So I feel like part of your new practices will emerge post-trip. And that's that part where we don't have to have the demand now. Yeah. I can see the potential now, I got to do it. But knowing that something is going to come forward that is right in the long view.
Yeah, and that's how I feel. I feel like that's going to be that extra push, because there's been so many things that's been done and been practiced with rituals, and I feel like this is going to open something that I'm excited to see.
Yes, yes. Okay. All right. All right. Yes, just come on up here if you are okay with being on camp. And I know you've come before. I can't remember your name, but come, Nada, yes, come have a seat. And with your sacral orange on today, sitting in your creation power energy. I love that. All right. So let's see what transformation energy is speaking to you in this now moment. Pathway to the light. Oh, beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Pathway to the light. Identify fear manifesting. You missed the first part. You have to rewind. Go ahead to the beginning of this. Identify fear manifesting as injury or illness in your body. Mm-hmm. Focus on the scintillating white light to increase loving energy within and release the block. Infuse your body with this positive healing energy. Pathway to the light assists us to release fear and rejuvenate our body with the healing white light. Relax and place your awareness on any physical challenge you may be experiencing. Identify how this condition may be manifesting to prevent you from moving forward. Okay, I have to laugh because in that pause, I heard, okay, knees, I hear you, right? Mm-hmm. I was thinking about my popping knees and mm-hmm. creaking and getting up. Mm-hmm. And then the knees comes up, and Louise Hay, great teacher that she is, and You Can Heal Your Life, talks about how hips and knees injuries have to do with your forward progress and the steps that you're taking along your path in life. So interesting alignment there. Have courage, take responsibility, and reveal to yourself if this imbalance is hindering your progress. Create a heightened state of awareness by envisioning a future that inspires and delights you. Focus on light and loving thoughts to raise your vibration and attract a higher frequency of spiritual energy. Isolate the area in your body from which the pain or imbalance is arising. With laser focused intent, visualize infusing the power of the healing light in your body while being aware of warmth, tingling, cooling, or any other sensations. Focus this higher vibration to transform and heal at the cellular level. If you have drawn this card, you're being called to use the beam of healing light to transform fear and physical challenges into a healthy state of being. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a powerful ability.
Yes.
Ooh, yes. To utilize.
Yes.
Wow.
I just started a movement practice. I went dancing yesterday for about, I couldn't believe it, 3 hours. And it's a place they had drumming and people was just dancing so freely, and the vibes was great, and I just need to move my body more, and that's why I'm wearing orange, because of, my creative energy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm working on. So it's aligned with my physical. I started, I do yoga every day and things like that, but I've been hearing the cracking and the popping, and so I need more movement to move that energy so it can flow and not be stuck and stagnant.
Right? We're moving energy so it's not stuck and stagnant. Right. We're doing something different, freeing. Yoga is a control practice, right? We've been in a control practice. We're freeing ourselves as we move forward from these restrictions.
It's been years since I danced too. And I just was free.
That's like that. That's like that inner child too, right? Hey, look at how you doing? I see we got some new people who came in. This is beautiful. If we pass this around with the cards, I'm gonna draw this card for Jackie here. Oh, okay. We got. Oh, and she says, create a new paradigm on a cellular level. Yes, from the inside out. Let me see if I can put that on the screen here. All right, so leap of faith. Look at this beautiful portal moving through. That's beautiful. And I know that this is resonant because, I will share this. You can talk to me later, friend. But she took a leap of faith and put in some applications for promotion at work, and then suddenly the right one aligned and came through for her. And that leap of faith into something new and unknown turned out to be liberating because she's now no longer going to be tied to a desk and a phone in the same way. She's going to have freedom to like be at her best and use all her abilities of professionalism and customer service and management in a completely unanticipated way. But it was all because of that leap of faith that she took. And I will say that last month, Jenny and I participated in a Conquering Cancer day retreat. And one of the activities that was done was Dawn facilitated a Reiki group healing for everyone. And as part of that, she had us all draw cards. And the card that Jackie got was freedom. And at that point in time, she didn't have this job. She was just putting out her energy, hoping that she was going to be received by the world. But part of the transaction is that we're hoping the world receives us, but they're not, spirit is the one who's determining what we do. So it may appear sometimes the world isn't actually receiving us, but that's immaterial because what we're in the dynamic with the spirit and our higher self and our higher consciousness, where we could be happy all day whether the world receives it or not. The thing is knowing that it will be received. You don't have to have manifested evidence of it. You just, as Don Miguel Ruiz says, you just always do your best, right? So leap of faith, perceive the unknown, dare to take a risk, and the leap of faith, take joy in your new endeavors. Leap of faith, challenge us to view the unknown, gather courage, dare to move in a new direction, and dance in the light of our new endeavor. Close your eyes and withdraw into this lush rose garden. View the rose portal, which is illuminated by the light beams descending from the heavens, lighting up a new path for you. Okay, we got all kind of paths, we got lights, we got beams, okay? As you gaze through the portal to the other side, experience the fear of stepping into the unknown. Feel in your body where self-doubt and uncertainty dwell. Is your mind saying you won't be successful? Do you feel tightness and anxiety? Gather your courage and transform your fears into positive energy. Move through the eye of the needle and inner stormy conflict. Pass through to the other side, a new life path for you. If you have drawn this card, you are being called to view the unknown of a new beginning, gather courage, and jump onto your new life path. We are all here at the threshold of humanity's shift in consciousness to step into the unknown. The reason it's unknown is because we don't yet know what forms love can take. We know what forms fear can take. We're getting a lot of exercises in what form, how bad can the boogeyman be in our reality. But it is unknown how exponentially amazing our reality is going to be because we are here seeding it with love from the inside out. And so that to me is what enables me to say, leap of faith, leap again, leap again, leap again, leap again, right? So interesting. Now, Mikel, we're going to have you do the last card of this, and then we're going to step into our what we've forgotten. And then for everyone who's here, because we are running good on time, you will be able to draw from these other Mario Durguay decks, because there's a reason I brought them. So it must be some additional guidance here. So come on up here, sir. Let's get you to give it to us. Oh my goodness. Don says, congratulations. She's screaming over in the other room. Okay. So good to see you. Yeah, wonderful to see you today. All right. It's talking about being in our gifts. This man helps people see their inner beauty through his holistic hair care, especially for those people who are dealing with medical conditions and life conditions that have made their crown challenged. And he is in that service vein, helping to do that and transform. So I honor that in you as well, brother. Is that it? Felt like it. Night Angel. Night Angel. Pouring down, flying. Oh, there's spirits like coming up and around. Like when you see this, it's very interesting. Observe the story between yourself and others. Alter the script and release the cords that bind. Take flight. We were just talking about how we took flight at Jenny's sound bath and soared with our wings, right? Night Angel compels you to change your perceptions from the past and break free. Journey into this illuminated desert on a clear full moon night. Feel the beams of light illuminating what is hidden in the shadows of your past. Using visualization, move the clock back in time and view the people who were most pivotal in your development. What consequences ensued from your interaction with them? Express gratitude to those who had a positive influence. Now reveal the person who may still have a hold on you. What disempowering effects occurred from this entanglement? Recall the roles each of you played in the script that had woven a hidden agreement between you. What invalidating messages did you accept without question? Rewrite this storyline and thereby alter your perception of the past. Visualize a silver cord connecting both of you. Talk aloud to this person. Tell them that you will no longer play a role that creates a victim mentality. Thank them for the learning experience. With compassion and forgiveness, cut the silver cord and release this person. Repeat this visualization for 22 days. Okay. With daily repetition, you will change the molecules in your cells and alter your position in that former reality. Be the observer and let it go. If you have drawn this card, you're being called to transform and release the cords of any constrictive past relationships, heal yourself, and take flight.
Wow, that was deep. Yeah.
You kind of look like you were rocked back there for a second. Like, did it hit you? Like when you?
No, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's like a visceral reaction when the gong goes
Just
off.
watching everyone.
Absolutely. So, what are your thoughts upon receiving that there?
It was on time. Well received.
All right, we're gonna go through this and take a peek in this keyhole and see what guidance comes through. What? Oops! Ooh, that's a lot of energy. We forgot a lot. Okay, apparently. Oh, ritual and gifts. The things that we have forgotten. Ritual and gifts. We're just talking about ritual sound baths, amplifying our gifts. Up here. And we have 59, which is a 14, which 14 for me is the Temperance card in tarot. It's the balance of as above, so below, of masculine, feminine, bringing in that energetic exchange that is balanced and perfected over time and patience. So the fact that this card, it does speak so much. You could see the orange, the yellow, like the creation. There's a feeling of polarity in this manifestation here, where we take the blue, we take the inner intuition and make it manifest in a balanced way coming from the idea consciousness potential field down into form. And then this is funny because it reminds me of the Akasha, Queen of the Dam movie back in the day with Aaliyah, right? In this particular card, which I'm sure there's further messages about that, but you can also, she's got lions or some form of feline energy on either side of her here. Ritual, all right. And this is a 46, which is a 10. So 10 is like both the preliminary and then the action. It's binary code that then begins to operate in a program after it moves from like 1 to 0 going forward. So it's a conclusion, seed point, and beginning inception point all in one, numerologically. All right, so I'll have you hold these here. All right, so let's go with the 46 first. You're a natural mystic. There's no spiritual without ritual. Developing a practice makes room for magic to take root. We are all natural mystics who can remember the gifts of humanity when we practice. Ritual is much more fulfilling than worrying and way cooler with way cooler results.
Yes.
How many people have a prayer ritual that's worryful?
Let that go.
Yeah.
No, but
Right.
I'm just thinking about my clients who do, who have that like mindset towards their prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day I worry, help me.
Mhm.
Oh, life is hard. And then it
Mhm.
just reinforces, but then it outsources, say, God, make it all better.
Yeah.
Right. But they
Right.
walk away from that conversation not feeling any better, just saying, well, I gave it to God and I'll be back to worry about it some more.
Oh,
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? But that's no judgment on it. But I mean, we've all been in ritualistic negativity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Okay, so ritual is much more fulfilling than worrying and with way cooler results. As the world expands and systems change under our feet, towers falling, okay? By creating ritual, we can stay connected to the greatest foundation there is through our own spiritual practice. Ritual brings spiritual and reinforcement. When we create a repetitive practice, we are able to communicate intention to source, building momentum and connection. Whether it's taking care of a plant, writing intentions, or connecting with others to do a ceremony or have a bonfire with a group. When we commit to ritual, we deepen and enrich our magical or spiritual practices. By acknowledging the systems we're in, we can begin to receive transmissions or downloads from divinity. When we get into that level of connection with spirit, it becomes a direct revelation as we remember how to decipher the transmissions. Whether it's journeying, meditation, movement, or dance, we can begin to discover moments of alignment with Source when we raise our vibration enough to meet it. When this happens, Source itself begins to become our teacher. What rituals can you bring into your life to invite in more light? How can you deepen any existing practices? How can you find the natural mysticism around you and within you? Okay, and then the other card was number 50. Was it 59?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Gifts, your magic power. When you dream, are you using your eyes? Probably not. They're typically closed. You're not processing images with your eyes. You're in your consciousness, working in non-ordinary reality. Seeing or connecting to spirit is typically not done with our eyes. It's usually done with our consciousness. It's usually done by employing the clairs. Who are the clairs? I call them the seven sisters, and you probably know at least one of them. The most popular clair is clairvoyance. It's the one everyone knows. It's the one most people equate with being psychic. But human beings have access to lots of clairs: clairaudience, clairsentience, clairalience, which is smell or taste, claircognizance, inner knowing, clairgustance, which is tasting, and clairtangency, which is where you could touch things. Psychometry, you could figure out who owned it, and, things like that. You may come from a family who has had some of these gifts, or you may come from a family who refuses to acknowledge the clairs. Here's the thing, if one of us can do it, any of us can do it. It just takes practice. One clair may show up for you in practice at first. You may meet the others later on. Today in this card, all 7 have shown up for you. Take some time to get to know the 7 sisters. How might you have already experienced them in your life so far? You might want to check with your circle of friends or family. Has anyone in your circle reported having met any of the sisters? You'll be surprised to learn there's a lot of people on the planet right now who will tell you they are empaths. This is clear feeling, also known as sister clairsentience. Okay, now to take it further, we talk about the 7 sisters of the Pleiades, and the Pleiadian consciousness is the nearest expression to the human evolution cycle. They're like our galactic uncle and aunt, if you will, in this journey. And there are many indigenous cultures that talk about interacting with the star beings and the star consciousness. And these are part of that 7 sisters of the Pleiades, and that Pleiadian consciousness of learning the lessons of being peaceful and harmonious, that they are here in the etheric realms and in the bodied starseed beings who are born into human form to bring that frequency and vibration onto the planet to help us as we hit the same kind of phases that they did. So that number 7 to me is a very divine feminine connective number. It speaks about our divine path and our journey of consciousness. It speaks about us elevating to reach that star level of galactic vibration where everyone is our brother, and where we're part of this huge consciousness field that does not see the contrast anymore of separation going forward. So we'll get one last card here from the Healing Energy Oracle. Jessica, if you started us off, we're going to have you pick a card from each of these, from the Healing Oracle and the Messages of Life Oracle. Now, before I came, I did shuffle and clear the cards and everything, so being ready for today. So let's get our last 2 guidances for Healing Energy and the Message for Life. All right. Healing Energy. Oh, wow. When you see it, you're going to see why I said that. I fell through it, yes. Wow. All right. Look at this. Peace. Peace. That beam of light that talked about in your guidance coming down, the consciousness of like the ships. I see like a mothership even bringing down. We got the purple, the violet flame of transmutation as well. The crown chakra. Love this energy. It says, I am unwavering in the face of fear. I come to my senses and embrace challenge. I am determined to think with gentleness and calm. I find inner silence and become a manifestation of peace. I keep hearing the song, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Mm-hmm. And we can't wait for something external to happen to make us feel peaceful. And people are going to say, how can you be so peaceful? Don't you see the world is burning down around you? Yes, I do. Right, because it's infectious. The vibration manifests. And this in other cards says, today I understand that I am here to learn, to discover, and grow. When I nourish myself with my inner light, my inner divinity grows. When I study the messages that life brings me, I am improved in the eyes of spirit and God. When I strike a balance between the material and spiritual worlds, material and spiritual, that's that temperance, as above, so below, I am freed of inner conflicts. In these ways, I grow my own soul. Fastest way to end the external conflict: find it and act on it within. If I can't stand you, I'm going to find a way to be around you until I can. Right? In a safe way, because I don't want to eventually become, you know what I'm saying? But the thing that causes me the most friction.
It's just a reflection of your own.
The bitterest pill, that part. That's the hard part. We'll resolve the conflict with that person, that energy, that frequency that says, you know what? That could have been my soul this round. How would I want people to see me? You know, I would hope they would see the divine in me and not the human in me. But if they crucify me, I deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've all been to that thing. So that tension, that thing that is the most conflicted, is really just us. Right? So I grow my own soul. And this is beautiful because we have here this orb of energy being delivered by the divine into consciousness, that inner light of self being brought into and illuminated in our own Akashic record. The us that has done this before, that understands that all is love when it's all said and done. Getting that download from our higher self. So, okay, this is what I had for today, and I am so grateful for everyone's energy that came, because all of your pieces, as you have a shirt on that's got pieces of a puzzle. Oh yeah, stand up and show that shirt. Pieces of a puzzle with a light right in the center of that. Bringing it all together for the inner illumination to arise. We were all necessary for this today. So, and to you who are watching, you were necessary for this as well. And of course, Jackie. Oh, I see we got Janine, we had Jackie, we had folks in the chat. Thank you so much. So this is what card divination is like for me when I daily, you know, I'll pull decks and have a conversation, and sometimes it goes because something needs to be downloaded. But if you have any questions or need tools or resources, come on up here to Holistic and join the family of light. And I will see you next month and on my YouTube channel. Thank you, Good Vibe Tribe, Ashe, and Namaste to all of you. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. Yes,